Hi, and welcome to A Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff. Today is going to be part 2, the second live stream, and building the typewriter, which is set number 21327. And this is a original Lego Ideas set from a fan that was voted on and accepted. And so far what we have is the apparatus for the typing keys, and that's as far as we got, but it was pretty complex and it was not easy getting there. So today hopefully we'll make considerable more progress on that. So all right, well, looks like I forgot the instruction manual. Let me go get that. All right, easy fix. I have it. Okay, so now I get to find all these wonderful keys and place them, which is not going to be an easy task, but I'm not complaining. I really enjoy putting this all together. Alright, so this is what it looks like for right now. Now I just have, well, there's 26 letters of the alphabet and a couple of other odd keys, so whatever that ends up being, that's what it's going to be. And good morning, Jenny. Thank you for joining. How's your morning been so far? Alright, found the backspace, and that was actually the next one I was looking for, so I am happy about that. Make this as easygoing as possible. Yeah, they're, in addition to being, I don't think they're too complicated. I think, in my opinion, they're just time consuming, because you got to get it right. You can't misplace them, and with there being 26 letters of the alphabet and plus 4 special keys, that's 30 of them you got to find. And whenever I work on a project like this, when you're organizing, the first few are always the hardest to find because you have the most possibilities. But the nice thing about something like this is that the further you get along and the further keys that you find and you place, the less complicated it gets, because there's less possibilities. And I'm not so sure about all this, so let me... Good morning so far. Jenny says, rainstorm last night and it's still raining. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I did live in Ohio for a time. I left there in 2008. So it's been 13 years since I've been there. But when I lived there, I remember, I lived in the Columbus area. And I remember that there were times the tornado sirens would go off like at 2 and 3 in the morning, and you know, it's no joke there. They really do get tornadoes, so you couldn't just lay in bed and just ignore. I mean, you could. I mean, you really wanted to, but I couldn't, because a couple of those tornadoes touched down with pretty close to us over the years that I was there, and it always scared me. So when I heard them in the middle of the night, we ended up going to the lowest spot in the house. And always made for a fun day the next day, because you know, you're dead tired because you were up for part of the night. So I'm not saying I completely understand what you're going through, but I'm going to say I believe I have at least some understanding of that. And that's the funny thing too about Ohio is I remember there were days where it was clear, partly cloudy, and then all of a sudden it was not. It was full clouds and there was a storm like right there, and it was a violent storm. Lightning, thunder. So the weather in that part of the country is very turbulent and can change very quickly too. Certainly remember that. Where I'm here in Utah, well, we're in the desert, so first of all, it doesn't rain very often. We do get thunderstorms, but I don't ever remember there being a tornado. We do get hurricane force winds sometimes, and we have our fair share of earthquakes. We have other things. I don't ever remember an earthquake in Ohio. I lived near Washington, D.C. I lived in Maryland, about an hour from D.C. Back when that earthquake hit, I think it was 2012, 13. I can't remember exactly, but we got back from Germany 2010. So yeah, in 2010. It was my first job. No. We came back in 11. I'm sorry. We came back in 2011. And my first job was when the earthquake happened. So it might have been 2011, 2012. Sorry, just trying to reminisce there. And of course, we had a nice sized earthquake here in Utah, literally right after I bought the house and right before COVID, or actually as COVID was breaking last year. We had a 5 point something, I can't remember, 5.1 or something. And as far as the channel is concerned, I've been shooting videos, going back to time lapses more. And I made 2 of those videos yesterday. Well, I completed one yesterday, and then I started another one, but I finished it this morning right before the live stream here. So be on the lookout for those. I did a Harry Potter. I'm not going to say which one, but I bought 8 Harry Potter sets recently, and that's what I was working on. And I really do enjoy the Harry Potter sets. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but I have to say I do admire how they've immortalized that series. I mean, God, when did it come out? 20 years ago? I can't remember exactly when it came out, but it's been out for some of those movies have been out for quite some time. Actually, all of them now. And they're still coming up with sets that are awesome. Of course, as far as Hogwarts is concerned, a friend of mine, Jason, I've mentioned him before. He lives up in Nova Scotia. He has a company. No, I'm not getting paid to say this. He has a company called Playwell, and that's what he does. Is he has designed the instructions to complete the Hogwarts castle. I don't believe he provides the pieces, just instructions. And so if you're interested in that and building something that huge, it's I think it was 30,000 pieces when it's put together. And so anyway, if that's something you're interested in, since we're talking about Harry Potter, I don't have a link to this thing, but it's called Playwell, and it's out of Canada. Good guy, good products. And I'm looking at still buying another house. I talked to the real estate agent for the new builds yesterday, and we're gonna go up there and take another look at the house, because the first time was kind of awkward because I had a real estate agent with me. There's a lot of pauses, so this thing's kind of messing up. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on with the stream because I'm not getting any warnings whatsoever But there are issues, and it's usually a little sensitive and lets me know when there's errors and there's really not. So, and Jenny says she has all the Harry Potter books. All right. Well, the house hunting is going on, and the first time I looked at the house, I didn't take pictures. I was nervous. The real estate agent that I was with, knew I was going to fire her, and so it was an uncomfortable meet. And well, now that I'm not working with her anymore, I'm going to go back up there today, and no real estate agent's going to be there. It's just going to be me and my granddaughter and my daughter. And so we'll be able to roam freely through the home, take pictures, take a look at things, investigate things. I'm going to bring a tape measure to make sure that the items that I currently own will fit in the places that I think they'll fit, that kind of thing. I really want to do like a deep analysis of the home to make sure that if I'm going to make this jump, that it's going to work in all ways. And if it won't work, like let's say there's this little nook or corner doesn't work with what I thought it was going to because it's not big enough or it's way too big, then that doesn't necessarily make me not want the house. It just makes it so that I have to rethink it, and maybe there is a simple fix, like there's IKEA sells a piece of furniture for $60 that'll take the place of what I currently have, and that's not a big deal. But then again, maybe not. Maybe maybe it won't work at all. But that's what I'm there to find out. And my daughter, who just moved here, is talking about getting her real estate license, and I hope that she hurries up, because if she does hurry up and get it, then I will use her as my agent, and she will get 2 commissions, one for me selling the house here and one for me buying the one up there, which I think would be a nice way for a 20-something-year-old to start out, by having 2 commissions that are large. And there's actually 32 of these, because 26 letters of the alphabet, and there's 6 special keys. I thought there was only 4. There's the additional question mark, and then the full colon, so which we're going to throw on here in a second. Are there still lots of pauses, or has it cleared up? Okay. And here we have it. The full keys all there. I'm going to set this assembly aside so I can build the rest of this with relative ease. And I really do want to make this home a reality. As stated before, I would like to have a dedicated pole barn to my Legos. So, and I really only feel the only way that's going to happen, of course, it can't happen here because my house only sits on 1/4 of an acre, and you're not allowed an outbuilding anyway. So, not only is there not the space, it's not allowed. But out there it is. So, hopefully I can make that a reality and have a dedicated space. But yeah, I'm looking at all these sets sitting over here, and I realize that I am terribly behind on building stuff. Either that, or I got a lot of up and coming material. However you want to look at it. And boy, did I get this wrong. All right, let's fix this. All right, fixed. Kind of cleared up. Okay. Well, YouTube's still not throwing any warnings at me, letting me know. So I'm really unsure why it would be doing that. And I'm still plugged in hardwire into this thing. So. Alright, so we got like a little piece here on the side. And I imagine that since we're building what looks like to be the same thing but yet the opposite direction, that we're going to build that little piece next. I wonder why they chose this color for a typewriter. I don't believe I've ever seen a typewriter with this teal, or if you look on Bricklink, it's sand green, according to them, color. I've never seen it in that color. I've seen black typewriters, plenty of those, but I don't think I've really seen a green one. But I know I'm not the world's authority on everything. Maybe they did exist. I just didn't. Maybe I just never seen one. And if you have, maybe you'll let me know down in the comments that, hey, I've seen one. Oh, that's nice. I broke it. Try a different approach then. That was a tight fit. That looks really cool. Yeah, thank you. The only thing it could have been better if I was the one that designed it and getting paid for it. No, I'm just kidding. I do like this set. It does bring back a certain amount of nostalgia because, well, my first book reports in middle school were on a typewriter. I don't think we got our first home computer. In fact, I know so. We didn't get our first home computer until I was 12 or 13. So that would have put me right at high school. And even then, word processors were there, but they were simple. And they didn't allow a whole lot. There was a way to get pictures inserted into a document to print, but it was kind of clunky and yeah, it was just kind of clunky. Okay, so we got this. Okay. but I will say that word processors have evolved over time, and even to the point where I don't even open Word for my job that much anymore. In fact, hardly ever. What I usually open is Excel or Publisher or OneNote. So I think that even the word processor is almost a thing of the past for a lot of people anymore. So it's funny, things have evolved in such a short amount of time. And thank you for that, Jenny. She says, I hope your house hunting goes well today. Thank you. We've got a drive ahead of us. It's about an hour away. I'm going to let the granddaughter sleep until she don't want to sleep no more. Because she's a bear when you wake her up. So I'll leave her be. It's not like I have a really hard deadline to get up there. And no reason to get her all cranky just to leave and have her scream in a closed car next to you. So we'll leave that alone till she wakes up, and then when she wakes up, I'll be able to pretty much leave. I don't have, there's not many things that are going to keep me here and for an extended period of time. I do have a couple Bricklink orders to put together, but they're not very big and there's only a couple, so I should be able to get that done before she wakes up, and then we can take off and head up north. Okay, so again, I'm not sure what this means yet. I'm sure it's, yeah, going to connect to the front there. And so, you know, I will say something as far as in my personal life, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's been a very turbulent week. You know, I've spoken about this on my channel before, and I'll say something more to it, and that is I'm sick of the notion that people feel that you have to completely agree with them, or you don't love them, or you hate them, or you're a mean and vicious person because you don't share the same viewpoint. I seriously, I call BS on that. You don't have to agree with someone to love them. And you don't have to in order to be friends with someone, you don't have to completely agree with every political viewpoint they have. And by the way, what I'm talking about wasn't even a political point of view. It was so stupid. But I had a family member who posted something on Facebook this week about her job being so hard that she comes home crying about it. And it doesn't pay that much either. And I wasn't rude. And actually, she didn't even say it was her job. She reposted a tweet that said that. But she didn't make any comment to it. Just took a screenshot of the tweet and put it on her Facebook page. I didn't know that she was specifically talking about her job. In fact, I don't really know her that well. I was going to say who she was, but I'm not going to. She's kind of a distant family member. She's not really that close to me. I've only actually met her once my whole life, so I don't know her all that well. But she posted this thing on there, and my response was, well, it's time to get a new job. Because you gotta remember, she's talking about a job making you cry. Or if you can't currently get a new job, it's time to acquire the skills to set yourself up to get a good job. And that's what I said. I was not insulting. I didn't call her dumb. I didn't say she was stupid for being in the situation. I was not rude. I just said acquire the skills or get a new job. Because in my opinion, no job's worth that. And I'm not just speaking out of my behind. I've had a job where I was bullied by two managers every day. They tried getting me fired so many times and never worked. But boy, was it stressful because I never knew you know, they even wrote me up on once, and I called HR and had an HR rep come down to our, because we there were several buildings I worked at, and there was no HR in my building. But I called HR and said, hey, look, I think this is really unfair. I'm being written up, and this is why I'm being written up, I believe. And HR said, well, if you're right, if what you believe is what you're saying it is, then yeah, you shouldn't be written up for that. And so an HR rep was there when I was written up, and the HR rep wouldn't let me sign it. They took the write-up and they tore it up right in front of those two managers and told them that they're not sure what the heck their problem is with me, but what they were going after me for was not something that I could be disciplined over. And by the way, if you want to know what it was, I was being disciplined because, or they wanted to discipline me because I used my phone, my cell phone, to look up a YouTube video that was absolutely essential for me to have my job, because I had to look up a video on how to do something, and our internet at our company, they block YouTube, and so I couldn't look at YouTube to look it up. So I violated the company policy by looking it up on my own phone to watch a video to help me do my job better. And yes, they tried writing me up for that, and when the HR rep heard that, they said, no way in heck. Look, yes, we have this policy, but common sense, people, common sense. And so the write-up got torn up, and after that, rather than backing off, those two became even more fierce and more determined. And I endured this for a little over a year, almost 2 years actually, before I was able to find a different job. And I just didn't have any options at the time, but I came home every day and I read books on IT. And I have a degree in accounting. And well, I was able to get a job that used those skills that I studied for. And rather than getting depressed and all that, that stuff I was going through was the fuel, the motivation that I needed at the time to get myself to study when I didn't feel like studying. And it was my fuel to do better. And so when I posted what I posted on Facebook, I was not going after that person. I was speaking from my heart, speaking from personal experience, and I literally can tell you that's all I wrote was either time to find a new job or time to acquire the skills to get a better job. That's all I said. Did not insult. There was no name calling. There was no calling out. And as soon as I wrote it, a family member who's not even on Facebook contacted me and chewed me out, said I had to quit picking on this person. And I told her, I said, look, man, I don't have an issue with you. And I said, I don't want an issue with you because you live here. And by the way, the person that I wrote the thing to on their Facebook does not even live there. They live a couple states away, and they never attend family functions. And so I was telling the person that contacted me, I'm like, look, you know, we got to make things work between us because, you know, you live here and I live here, and I don't want family functions to be awkward. And I said, so you really need to back off because this has nothing to do with you. And, you know, rather than taking a hint of common sense, that person attacked me even further, made some allegations about my kids, which, by the way, my kids are all grown except for one, and she made a very horrible accusation against my oldest, or not my oldest, my daughter, and these are the sort of allegations you don't throw around. And at that point, no, I'm not, you know, just because you don't get your way and I'm not going to conform and I'm not going to agree with your opinion does not give you the right to become mean and nasty and say things that can get somebody criminally charged. And so I told her where she could put it and told her just don't contact me anymore. And I don't care about family functions. if she's uncomfortable, she don't have to go. I'll be attending. And this is all over me saying, basically, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and improve your situation. Because honestly, no one else can do it for you. And that was, and I was speaking from experience. And so, it's just dang sad that that is the state of affairs. And I've actually had a couple other friends that have had family go this ballistic over such stupid things. And honestly, if you think that your family relationships are to the point where you don't care and some political view is more important, then you're the problem. I'm just gonna say that right now. You are the problem. And there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion. And especially because this wasn't even political, so how it got turned into all this, I don't even know, man. I'm at a loss. And the funny thing is, this particular person that I so-called offended, I reached out to her afterwards and I said, hey, look, if you want to get somewhere in life, I said, I don't mind being a sounding board, and I run a successful business, and I've been able to get where I'm at in life. I don't mind sharing what tips I know to help you get where you want. And yeah, oddly enough, when the dialogue started, everything I told her, literally everything I told her, she shot down. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I'm too emotionally attached to this. I'm too this. I'm too that. And it's like, okay, so you're basically telling me that you made your choice of where you're at in life and you're happy and comfortable with it and you don't want to change. And when I told her that, she went off on me. And she's like, well, that's not the way I look at it. I'm stuck. And she's not stuck. She has clear choices that she makes every day that put her and keep her in the circumstances that she's in. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but if you want to be harsh because I'm dropping truth bombs, then go ahead and think of me as Command Central, and this is bombing Command Central, and I will drop truth bombs wherever they're needed. And I'm not going to apologize for telling somebody that you've got this. You can make your life better. And to put a positive spin on this, where and how I was able to get where I'm at was because I listened to a couple different people on YouTube. And let's talk about that, because you know what? Hey, if you've got dreams, I would like to be a part of helping you get there. One of my favorite all-time people to listen to is Graham Stephan. No, he's not paying me to say that, and no, he is not sponsoring anything. I have no sponsors. Graham Stephan is a 30-year-old self-made millionaire who I have a lot of respect for, because Graham Stephan, no nonsense, get it done, and gives you practical advice on how to get there. So I recommend listening to his stuff. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, I listen to him as well. And Mr. Wonderful says that in several of his videos about pivots, you have to be ready to pivot in your life. So if something ain't going right, you have to be ready to let go of your beliefs and keep moving forward and do a paradigm shift in your own mind. And yes, in the case of the person I was dealing with, that's exactly what needs to happen. There needs to be a paradigm shift away from the victim mindset, and to realize that they do have power over their own life, and to use the power they have to influence their life for the better. And that is, our own broken belief system can keep us stuck in something for a lot longer than what it's helpful to us. So be ready to shatter your own belief system at times. And I'm not talking about the whole thing. I'm just talking about the parts that aren't serving you, the parts that are literally holding you back. Because I doubt there's many people out there. I think the number is actually very few that have a belief system so broken that they have to trash the whole thing. But I do believe there are those people out there. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they number very much. So yeah, you got to be willing to make changes. You got to be willing to give up old broken beliefs. And you got to be willing to do the work. And there is no other thing that I can say than you have to be willing to do the work. Because no one can do it for you. No one will do it for you. You want to better your life, you've got to do you, and you've got to do you in a new way. Because if you already had it figured out, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. And I'm not saying that you guys need this, and I don't even think everyone needs what I'm saying. Just saying for those who do. Hopefully what I say could help you out. And I will tell you, true to my own life, when I started to sell business when I started to sell Legos back in 2006, that all happened because of a paradigm shift, like as I was talking about earlier. I was going to school, and I was kind of a little immature, and I had bought far too many Legos. And my wife got home before I did, and she saw the Legos that came in the mail, and she was upset, and she told me that she didn't want us spending any more of our money on Legos. She did tell me, she said, you better find a way to make money off them. And rather than sulking and getting depressed because my wife was mad at me, I just said, okay, challenge accepted. I'm going to find that way. And I truly did. I started my research, and within a few weeks I bought my first set, and I'd spent $150 on my first Lego set, and I only bought one because that's all the money I had. But I did have like $20 a week, 20 or 25, I can't remember. I had $20 or $25 that I knew that I could dump into buying new inventory every week. And so every week I dumped that little bit of money in there, and I didn't touch my sale money. Any sales that I got also got put in that fund to buy new inventory. So I built it up through sales, and I built it up through adding $25 a week. And before I knew it, I was able to buy another set that was the same as the first one that I bought for $150. And once I did that, I noticed my sales increased quite a bit because I had more pieces and people were buying deeper quantities, and so I kept buying that same set over and over for a while. And before I knew it, I built up quite the inventory. And a few years later, when I graduated from school, I was able to run a decent sale. And by sale, I mean my whole entire inventory. And I sold my inventory to one Bricklink store, one person. And that selling the whole entire inventory all at once at a discount was enough to pay off the little bit of student loans, which, okay, it was like $13,000 in student loans. I was able to pay it off in one swoop, and I was out of debt, and that was done. Well, that part was done. I was still in debt for other things like a car, but that is a true to life story there, that with $150 I turned it into enough to pay off and pay PayPal fees and shipping and all that. So it was more than $13,000, but I cleared $13,000 to pay off my student loans. And that felt good because I'm not going to call out any family members, but I have family members that are literally in their 60s that are still paying on their student loans, and I did not want to be that person. And so doing all this was very hard work, but was it worth it? Heck yeah. So I hope that wherever you're at in life, that if you want to get somewhere else and be somebody else and do better, I wish you the best on that. And I don't mind answering questions, so if you have questions, leave them in the comments. If it's a little bit deeper of a discussion, maybe we'll take it over to Facebook or something. But I am always willing to help out and give suggestions. That way, if you do feel stuck, maybe another perspective or a fresh pair of eyes on it might reveal some things that you haven't thought about. And maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee that I can help you, but will I try? Will I make the time? I sure will. Alright, so sometimes I don't know what we're building here, and this is certainly one of those cases that I literally have no idea what this is right here. I mean, I get that it's a technical piece, so it's going to be a moving part. I get that, but what its actual function is, no idea. It helps if I get the right piece, because round Lego pieces don't go in plus sign holes. Oh, and yes, I did end up buying new inventory and resuming my sales. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh boy. Okay. This, I didn't build this right. And this looks like it's going to be very complicated to fix. Not something I really want to do on a live stream, because I got to basically take this whole entire thing apart. I butchered it, and that's what happens when I get deep in conversation. Sometimes it's hard for me to pull my brain in two directions and have either direction work all that well. Can't even walk and chew bubble gum sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to end the live stream here because I got some major surgery to do here on this piece. So we're going to leave it here. But I do want to thank you for joining, and I hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. And check out my store. It's called the Chip Off the Old Block. It's on Bricklink. And I'll see you guys later, and I'll catch you on the next video, which I plan to do another live stream tomorrow morning to get further along on this typewriter. Have a good one.